Hi everyone, my name is Hilary Busby and I'm going to be talking to you all about Costa Rica's disaster management. First, I'd like to start off by giving you a little bit of background information. The United States Department of State estimates that the nation's landmass covers about 19,730 square miles, which is equivalent to the size of about Vermont and New Hampshire combined. Here on this map, you can see that Nicaragua lies to the north, Panama to the south, the Caribbean to the east, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. Obviously, Costa Rica is located in Central America. Also, Costa Rica lies on top of the fault line between the Cocos Plate in the Pacific and the tectonic plate underlying the Caribbean Sea. Its geography includes both wet and dry lowlands, multiple mountain ranges, and 7 active volcanoes. Here you can see Arenal volcano, which is one of the world's most active. According to the World Bank, Costa Rica has the 8th highest economic risk exposure to 3 or more hazards and is ranked second in the world among countries most exposed to multiple hazards based on land area. From 1980 to 2010, Costa Rica has suffered from a total of 49 disasters, killing 312 people and costing $1.6 billion in economic damage. Costa Rica has been identified as one of the most earthquake-prone and volcanically active countries in the world. Flooding poses the greatest risk to Costa Rica and represents the main source of losses in the country. And landslides are among the most costly in terms of human lives. While these disasters are nothing new to Costa Rica, what makes them unique is the amount of devastation that they cause. The World Bank estimates that 78% of the country's population and 80% of its GDP reside in areas at high risk. Activities associated with poor environmental policies, misuse of land, rapidly growing urban population near hills and mountains, and lack of financial and material resources exacerbate the negative impact of these hazards and increases the country's vulnerability. In 1969, Costa Rica took its first step towards disaster risk management by adopting the National Emergency Law. This law granted the executive branch to declare a state of emergency, established the National Emergency Fund, and the National Commission of Emergency. In 1999, the law was amended to mandate the CME with disaster prevention responsibilities, including the formulation of a national disaster plan, establish an early warning system, and educate the country's population on these issues. In 2006, the law was amended again to create the National System for Disaster Risk Management, in which the CME became the coordinating office. It also defined risk management as a cross-cutting issue, requiring all central government institutions and units to allocate resources for disaster risk activities in their programs and allocate 3% of their profits to the National Emergency Fund. Changes to the law can be attributed to UN efforts such as the International Decade for Natural Disaster Reduction, as well as the political and social context of Costa Rica in response to disasters such as Hurricane Mitch in 1998. Costa Rica uses a top-down approach to disaster risk management. The CME, located directly under the executive branch, is responsible for organizing and coordinating the National System for Disaster Risk Management. Within it is the Directory Group, acting as the highest decision-making authority, whose membership includes the President's Office, various ministries, the head of the National Insurance Institute, and the Costa Rican Red Cross. The CME organizes its work into 3 subsystems, which are connected through coordinating bodies established under the National System for Disaster Risk Management Auspice. Also, the CME's work relies heavily on funding allocated from the national budget and the National Emergency Fund. However, in 2008, Costa Rica did sign up for the World Bank Catastrophe Deferred Drawdown Option, or CAP DDO, which aims to fill in the financial gap caused by a catastrophe. Costa Rica's successes include the establishment of an efficient early warning system, mainstreaming disaster risk management into its planning and development policies, creating an electronic system of the country's hazards and risk data, establishing a strong national education plan, as well as launching a national communication campaign to raise public awareness about risks and creating a culture of prevention. While its successes cannot be denied, Costa Rica continues to face certain challenges. First, its population continues to grow and reside in high-risk areas. Second, it lacks diversity in transportation such as helicopters, mainly because its government does not possess a military. Third, it remains heavily dependent on international relief agencies. And finally, it must establish a stronger enforcement mechanism to ensure that building codes are used across the country.